This week on Hermitcraft.
Because not only are we going to build the drill today, but we also have an election to win.
Congratulations, Scar.
Congratulations, man.
I don't know if I'm going to be a good mayor or not. I don't actually win.
Great.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft Recap. My name is Pixorifs, our writer is LoyXP, and let the record show that this week, the Hermitcraft server has elected Good Times with Scar as the rightful mayor of the Commercial District.
And then we have, of course, the mayoral election results. So Scar 10, Stress 5, False 4, Mumbo 0.
Oh, thank you, Cub fan. It's nice to have someone writing things down. The dog catcher position was also decided upon, and Joe Hills stole the vote by a landslide, with Daffy Duck coming in a close second.
Nice,
Congrats, Joe.
Thank you all for trusting me to clear up this mess that I had nothing to do with. I will endeavor to get these dogs safely at the dog sanctuary as soon as possible.
What either of them will do with their newfound power, only time will tell. For now, let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with the newly elected and his Nether to Overworld travel initiative. Still on his quest to blow a hole in the planet's very core and strip mine the Nether for all it's worth, this week Good Times with Scar unsheaves the very tool he will be doing it with, the biggest dig a dig has ever seen.
I know it looks very simple, but getting all the calculations of all the blocks right, so we get the nice curves and it matches up on all of its...
But while the massive drill is ominously hovering above the blown out chunks, it can't do much until it's attached to a motor of sorts. His campaign manager slash henchman BDubs has also been working with industrial machinery, and we don't mean the sawmill he's been building, we mean beds.
Watch it. Ha-ha-yaha!
Instead of sawing logs, the Nether update has provided a brand new use for BDubs' superpower, blast mining for ancient debris. Hopefully the power doesn't go to his head now he's had a lick of the Diamond Throne, because if anybody on this server could weaponize sleeping, it's BDubs. Beds are also Zombie Cleo's weapon of choice now that her proper weapons have been lost to the Nether a couple of times. Through intentional game mechanics, she assembles a full set of netherite armor and even a spare pickaxe to help her delve deeper and greedier. Curious how this one compares to the bat suit she dropped off at Corralis's, but we'll have to wait some more for a follow-up, I suppose.
And because ancient debris is, you know, not fireable, it's not explodable, so therefore it should not explode. I explained that really poorly, but you know.
Hypnotize tries the netherite mining thing as well after the treasure hunting doesn't return a satisfactory result.
You smell. Okay, I know who this is. Thanks, Jevin.
His quest for the new hotness leads him to investigate all the newer features of Heck, making his way curiously through the warped and crimson tree farming and bastion remnants. In a striking contrast, Jevin takes a more volatile approach and TNT blasts the netherrack core. Though his nether exploits got beyond just the ancient debris, what he really wants from the nether is much more delicious. On the nether roof, Jevin assembles a hoglin farm which provides him with enough pork to start a business over. That is, of course, after the ocean base is once again elevated and planned out.
I'm going to be building up the walls and kind of curving them over some to match the arches that are going to go up. And like I said, pretty much everything is almost completely done.
Still, Jevin hears the call of commerce, and his answer to it is a shopping cart filled to the brim with pork and titled Meat Wagon. On that subject, Vintage Beef may have met his match when he realizes there's a new music disc he can stock at the record shop and heads out to a bastion to retrieve a master copy of Pigstep. The locals are more than happy to beat him up and steal his trousers, after which he decides grinding for ancient debris might be less hazardous.
Another one! Am I the DJ Khaled of ancient debris? Dang!
In between stocking and staffing his wallpaper shop and confronting Etho about why he hasn't fulfilled Corralis's noteblock order yet,
I've been busy.
Beef makes good on his promise to bring Joe Hills a netherite pickaxe, which Joe immediately throws into lava, but that's okay because netherite floats.
So now all that's left to do is we're going to sit here for about 6 minutes while I tell a story, and then we'll go pick that up. Anyway, I'm just kidding. We're not going to leave that in there for 6 minutes. It'll despawn.
Having judged it is worthy, Joe uses the pick to grab some obsidian and actually make a nether portal. Then it's time to make good on his duties as dog catcher and round up all the dogs. The population of the dog sanctuary grows 3 sizes that day, although Joe does run into some issues and some bedrock, bringing them back from Azuma's base. For his and everyone's convenience, Azuma puts together a stalactite tower as his nether hub entrance. It's reminiscent of the B-styled structures his base already exhibits, but done with the new nether materials. And he'll need his connection to the Piglin dimension if he wants to capitalize on the massive gold farm X now tweaked to apply looting to its victims. Which capitalize he does. Azuma is now the proud owner of a Piglin trading area that houses several oinky specimens and distributes your gold evenly across them for maximized Piglin trading speed.
And as you know, the whole reason I built this farm was just so we could get a few crying obsidian blocks to finish off our tower.
But has he spawn-proofed the nether with gold pressure plates? Because Iskall may have done just that. And despite this, he still has more gold than a Spandau Ballet covers band.
This is looking so ridiculous. I can't believe I've done this. I can't believe I've done this. That's 15,000 gold. BONKERS. Bonkers.
With the efficiency of his gold farm maximized, he doubles the storage system and adds tiny gold-plated apartments for his own bartering piglins to live in a luxurious 1x1 environment. But he'll still need a way to transport them up there, and nether portals are out of the question since the overworld air would zombify the piglins, so he hires Impulse SV to break some bedrock through the Boomer's storefront. And Impulse's bedrock breaking business is going through the roof, but also, for some reason, the floor. Interrupting Zedaf in the middle of placing an order, it turns out Zed wants a void hole in the floor of the overworld for an as-yet unspecified purpose.
I gotta fit in like a 4x2 deal around it, so some of these other ones will have to get taken out as well. So, I mean, you could definitely have like 10 diamond blocks, right?
You'd think, wouldn't you? Hang on.
With another bedrock patch broken for XP crafted, Impulse gets to work fixing up a couple of his farms, namely the nether connection of the Guardian farm and the Wither Rose farm, which now tries to get the Wither to watch the birdie. After checking his other farms still function, some modifications to the Wither Skeleton farm leave Impulse with a massive haul of Wither Skulls, and the only logical conclusion is to open a beacon shop with a rainbow laser light show. Which means XP Crafted now has some competition, but he's taking the smart approach and diversifying his business. First setting up a gold farm to shore up profits, he also tackles a new Wither Skeleton farm and then sets up a Hoglin farm above a suitable Crimson Forest. After spending so much time in the nether, XP decides his base needs a touch of that new warped and crimson aesthetic, adjusting the lore so the apocalypse started as a chemical accident with the huge fungi growing as a byproduct. It'll be fine as long as the clickers don't show up. Just infinite bacon is not enough to satisfy Tangotech's appetite. Yes, he makes a Hoglin farm also, which is amazingly but a side note in his segment. Mangoes be darned, Tango designs his own nether tree farm, one not using TNT dupers, but one with excessive ancient debris at least. It's the quality of never being blown up but being affected by pistons that nudges Tango towards using the valuable block as a redstone component, and as a result, his take on the netherwood farming is pretty fun to watch.
All kinds of shroom lights, we have crimson stems, and that's just half of it because the other half is over here with more crimson stems, more shroom lights, and just this thing is moving great. I love it.
Naturally, Rendog is keen to step into that arena, especially since his contacts at the Renpire aren't returning his calls after the mayoral election. So he creates a fungus farming contraption in the Big Logs Mesa and starts demolishing warped and crimson trees in the most explosive way possible, feeding the warp blocks back into the bone meal factory as he goes. But what blows up must come down, and 2 thematic blimps are constructed alongside the main Logs storefront to deliver the new materials at a higher price, 1 diamond block per stack, or 1 piece of valuable netherite scrap.
Check it out, this is the price that I'm thinking. 1 diamond block per stack, or 1 scrap per stack. So if hermits don't want to pay diamonds, and they've got excess scrappage lying around, and helping Rendog get a full set of netherite gear, sounds fair to me, baby.
So essentially you can use either scraps or diamonds depending on what side of the bed you got up that day, which coincidentally is exactly where Zedaf takes his redstone. And really we'd rather he do that instead of whatever atrocities against nature he's committing with resource packs.
Oh, look, I got one. I got a happy one. He's out and he's cold. Okay, right, stay there. This is how we're going to do our little nether trip. Is this one of those things? Sebastian's, right? It's a Sebastian.
The newest marvel in the Cave of Contraptions is a bedroom split in 2 halves that automatically randomizes which side of the bed the game plops you on in the morning. You either get a nice overworld wallpaper or an edgy nether-styled interior. Take a nap if you feel like embracing your inner Harvey Dent. With the election now past her, False Symmetry has no use for her campaigning billboard, which will come in handy now that the other one was bought out by Looky Looky at My Bookie. False designs quite an intricate display for it for something so limited in its square footage. Then again, False is a master of compact spaces and hides a whole kelp farm within the walls of her personal base, which are nevertheless expanding rapidly as more and more hexagon plots are overtaken by the futuristic towers, combining into a glowing city of space lamps.
Oh, this looks great. Yeah. Oh man, I'm really excited about this now. Are you guys excited? Let me know if you are. That's 59,000 grey concrete. Oh dude, look at this now!
While False and the other mayoral runners-up have taken the loss well, the same may not be true for Grumbot. After burning him out last week, Mumbo and Grian are worried that the loss may be too much for Grumbot's circuits, so their solution is to build him a virtual reality cube and boot him up in this holodeck existence under the illusion that Mumbo actually won.
Grumbot's life has meaning.
We did it!
Dude, I looked the business.
That is legit.
I'm upset that I didn't vote for myself now.
You look so qualified.
Yeah, why didn't I put this on from the start?
Grian sends himself into the Shadow Realm too, although the Nether of course is much less pleasant than the Woolen landscape. Fate finds him on an adventure through a Piglin bastion where the Netherite armor from last time is truly put to the test, which it promptly fails. Luckily, it then fails the Piglins who stole it as well, and is reunited with its rightful owner.
It might not look like much, but that still took an enormous amount of time.
When he's not pulling the wool over Grumbot's eyes, Mumbo tries his hand at bed mining for debris and moves on to some less explosive Piglin bartering. The first problem is he doesn't have any name tags, which means Iskall gets to name the Piglins. The second problem is getting the Piglins in there at all. The third is getting that much gold, but for each of these problems Mumbo has a solution. Eventually the Piglin chamber is decorated, the bedrock is broken, and the gold farm, inspired by a Raiseworks design, is churning out more drops than the hoppers can hop.
There's a zombie pigman who's picking up all the swords. Look at that! So those swords will never despawn.
And finally there's Cubfan, whose own gold farm is simply put back in place after he tore it down right before the Nether update. The Nether which arrives to his enormous pyramid in the form of an alien Nether portal design done in the colours and blocks of the new era.
Yeah, this is supposed to be like tearing the portal open, like creating a rift to the Nether. That's sort of the feel we're going for. That's looking really cool. I like that.
Coupled with a honeyblock monorail to the end portal ice roads, this completes the logistical labyrinth of Cub's enterprise. Gotta admit, it's no mini-golf, but it's still looking pretty amazing. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is ZloyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. If you want to see the Nether entered with style, check out Zloy's series, where he actually makes the Nether his main Minecraft base, and even settles in a basalt delta. The idiot. Links, as always, will be in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.